Hello, fellow people of the internet. My name is Abie Philbin Bowman. I'm an Irish comedian from Dublin. And actually I should probably start out by saying I didn't want to be a comedian growing up here in Dublin. I desperately wanted to be a famous Irish novelist, but tragically I had a happy childhood. I am a comedian now, and I write one-man shows about what's going on in the world, and I'm trying to put them onto DVD, which is where you guys come in. There's 3 shows I want to put on. The first is about the fact that I'm growing up in Ireland, I'm an atheist. I don't actually have a problem with God. I basically have a problem with God's customer support team. And in particular, there's a certain brand of American Christianity that drives me up the walls. You know, the kind of people who have bumper stickers which say, "You can't spell Jesus without US." You know that kind of American Christianity? The kind of people who are so illiterate they don't realise that a tea party is traditionally led by a Mad Hatter. And these people annoy me. It's not because they're American, that's totally fine. It's not because they're Christian, I have no problem with that. My main problem is these people are complete hypocrites. Because we know that if Jesus Christ came back to earth tomorrow, there is no way he would get through US immigration. I mean, Jesus was a bearded Middle Eastern guy ready to die as a religious martyr. And he just walked out of a cave. So, no question, he would end up in Guantanamo. So the first show I ever wrote was called Jesus, the Guantanamo Years. There's the t-shirt. I had great fun. I took it to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, where bizarrely it made money. I toured it all around Ireland. I even got to America, even to Pakistan. I think I'm the only Western comedian stupid enough to do religious political comedy in a Muslim country during a state of emergency, while the world's #1 terrorist is in hiding in that same country in a secret compound just up the road. Obviously didn't realise that at the time. Having written that show, the second one I did was actually about climate change, and I felt, having had a go at American Christians, I kind of had to have a go at myself and my own liberal ideals. And personally, I believe climate change is a problem, but I am part of that problem. And the idea I came up with there was, if we really want to reduce carbon emissions, we should probably join Al-Qaeda, because the major causes of climate change are airlines, oil companies, Western consumerism, and overpopulation. Now, Al-Qaeda is tackling all 4 of those things. And if you think about it, they're basically a collectively run grassroots NGO founded on the slogan, "Think globally, act locally." I mean, the American army will fly their bombs halfway around the world. Al-Qaeda walk them to their targets, and they source all of their fighters locally. And let's be fair about this, suicide bombing is considerably more biodegradable. Now, don't get me wrong here, I think Al-Qaeda are idiots, and I don't like them. If you don't believe me they're idiots, just watch some of the videos they make online where they go, "Death to the West!" And yet they're clearly using Windows Movie Maker. But I wanted to address the issue of climate change in a fun and interesting, engaging way. The show, actually, it's called Eco-Friendly Jihad. A lot of it's actually about Gandhi, about the fact that when I was 20 years old, I kind of desperately wanted my life to be somewhere between Mahatma Gandhi and Bob Geldof. Unfortunately, now I'm 30, I've realised that halfway between Gandhi and Geldof is Gandalf. So that's Eco-Friendly Jihad. And the final show I want to record for DVD sort of started the night Barack Obama was elected president, which was obviously an amazingly interesting moment in world history. A lot of people said that because Rosa Parks sat down, Martin Luther King walked, and because Martin Luther King walked, Obama ran. And the night that Obama was elected, I was working in a small radio station in Galway, in the west of Ireland, and I'd convinced them to give me my own radio show to cover the election results. But unfortunately, I realised then that BBC and CNN and most of the world's media had their own election shows as well. And I realised, I had nothing particularly unique to contribute. But thinking about the civil rights struggle, and everybody was queuing up to talk to Jesse Jackson and various veterans of the civil rights movement, I thought, hang on, this is actually a struggle. And the reason it's a struggle is because there were 2 sides in that struggle for civil rights, and nobody's talking to the other side. So I thought it would be an interesting moment to interview the Ku Klux Klan. Now, let me make this very clear, I'm not a fan of the Ku Klux Klan. I think they're racist and fairly horrible. But I just felt this is a group who have a long and colourless history, and this is part of the story. And I wanted to ask them some awkward questions. I firmly believe that if you ask, right-wing racist people questions and talk to them and interrogate them, you will find out the flaws in their own arguments. For example, at one point I said to the member of the KKK, who insists that members have to be Christians and must profess faith in Jesus and can't be atheists and can't be homosexual, I said, hang on a second, you guys call yourselves Christians, but my understanding is that Jesus' mother was a Palestinian Jew, and his father was God. So surely, if anyone's mixed race, it would be Jesus. If you want to find out what happened in that interview, then please donate some money and you'll see the show. But it's not just okay to slag off the KKK, which obviously is important and should be done. But I also then started thinking about my own racism and whether or not I'm a racist. And I believe in equality, as I'm sure many of you do as well. But I've got to be honest with you. If I walk into a group of women in their 20s who are from India or Pakistan, my first thought is, I wonder if any of them are single and might like to go out with me. If I walk into a group of men in their 70s from Poland, that is not my first thought. Now, maybe it should be, but it turns out that while I believe in equality in theory, when my sexual brain is engaged, it turns out I'm ageist, sexist, and racist. And I don't think I'm the only one. So it's about exploring my own issues with sex and race and trying to discuss those in a more honest way. And that show is called Sex Lies and the KKK. Essentially, I'm setting up this Kickstarter project because I want to have enough money to film these and pay Paddy, my lovely cameraman, who's here filming this right now, and the team, and put it together into a really decent DVD. If we make the minimum threshold, we can DVD the shows. If we make a bit more, we can start to add in some nice extra features, include the original interviews with the KKK, stick on some stuff I did on radio where I had to go with the DUP about the DUP in Northern Ireland called me blasphemous, Ian Paisley's party, and we had a bit of a row about that. I thought it was quite ironic that I was being accused of blasphemy and attacked by an Ulster Protestant, essentially for dressing up in orange and talking about Jesus. And there's a bit of that. You can also, if you want to contribute more, you can get tickets to the shows. There's t-shirts like this one. I've got some funny slogan t-shirts as well, which you'll see down the side. You can get original flyers, signed, posters, that sort of thing. There's also a few unique items. If you'd like the jumpsuit that will feature in the DVD, that's up for grabs. Also my guitar, lovely handcrafted guitar here, which genuinely works, is up for grabs as well, if you want a bid on that. Obviously, there's only one of those unique items. But then, if you just want to get the DVDs as well, that's totally grand. And I'm trying to make them as reasonably priced as possible. So if you like this, tell your friends. Also, you may see there's a gift option. Perhaps you have a right-wing brother-in-law or somebody who you feel really needs to see Jesus, the Guantanamo years, or eco-friendly Jihad. Or maybe it's an environmentalist aunt. I don't know. Somebody you think needs to see this and maybe have a laugh at themselves or you. And in that case, you can also get gift-wrapped options as well. So have a look at those. Thanks a million for your time. Really appreciate it. And I'll keep you updated. Cheers.